that is the view right now out of my studio window. It is a glorious day here in the UK, and perhaps also you can hear the sound of the birds. Nature is waking up. Spring is on its way. Welcome everyone, here we go again. It's another live stream. It's English Addict, live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be England. Mr. Duncan, you are late again. I'm sorry I'm late. I always have something to do. This is the problem. Even when I'm preparing my live streams, there is always something that needs doing, whatever it is. It must be done. So quite often before my live stream begins, I normally have a lot of things to do. So please excuse me if sometimes I am a little bit late. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Are you happy? You should be feeling very happy this week because you have had me one extra time. Yes. Did you see yesterday I was live outside? I was doing a live stream from the middle of the place in which I live. And for those who missed it, well, don't worry, everyone. You can watch it again. So here I am. You can see it here on the screen right now. So there I was yesterday live in the centre of Much Wenlock doing a live stream. And I was broadcasting live from the square, the main square in the centre of where I live. And there you can see I have some food. Oh, can I just say that cake was delicious. A mint chocolate brownie. That's what I had yesterday. And also I had a cup of coffee as well, as you can see in my hand. So I was out in the public yesterday. Talking of which, that is what I was talking about yesterday. So on my live stream yesterday, the thing you can see on the screen right now was all about public, being in the public, being in a public place. And, oh, can you see behind me? Can you see those two people behind me? They are watching me. They are very curious. They are wondering, what is that strange man doing? He's standing on his own, talking into his phone. It looks as if he's filming himself. Now, those people behind me, can you see them? Maybe we can get a little closer. Can we get a little closer there? Here we go. So, can you see them? They are very interested in what I'm doing. Yes, I can see you. Looking at me, wondering what I'm doing, nosy people. So a lot of people did yesterday, they stopped to watch what I was doing. They were very curious to find out what was going on in the place in which they lived, because there was a strange man standing on the street corner. But don't worry, it was only me. It was only me. It's all right. Don't be afraid. By the way, my name is Mr. Duncan. I teach English on YouTube and I've been doing this for ever such a long time. Can you guess how long I've been doing this for? Well, I will give you a clue. When I first started doing this, YouTube was just a little baby. So my channel on YouTube is almost as old as YouTube itself. So here we go again. Oh yes, despite all the problems in the world, despite all the terrible things that are happening on the planet right now, and I think we know what they are, We have made it all the way to the end of another week. The weekend is just around the corner. Yes, it's Friday. We have made it, yes, all the way to the end of another week. Once more, we have managed not to blow the planet up. Would you like to see another lovely view outside my window? Okay, here we go. Oh, look at that. So there, already, as if we needed reminding that spring is on its way, you can see there is lots of cherry blossom coming out on the trees in the garden as well. Shall we have the nature sound? So this is the sound right now outside my window. This is live. I can hear an aeroplane going over, but also I can hear some birds in the distance, and they sound very happy indeed. Isn't that lovely? So I don't know why the weather is so nice, but apparently over the next few days it's going to get really horrible again. Apparently next week it's going to be very cold, it's going to be very wet and very windy again. So I hope you are well today. Oh, hello to the live chat. Hello. It's nice to see you here today. Congratulations to Connell. Guess what, Connell? You are first on the live chat. Congratulations and jubilations. You are the first one to join my live chat today. Thank you very much, Connell, for joining me. Also, we have Luis Mendez here today, watching in France. Hello to you as well. Also, Martha Poland, Guadeloupe. Hello, Guadeloupe. I made a mistake the other day. I said that Guadeloupe is a place in, first of all, I said it was in the Bahamas, but it isn't. It's actually the Caribbean. So Guadeloupe is actually a place in the Caribbean. In fact, nearby, if I'm not mistaken, they actually filmed some of the scenes with Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. Thank you, Guadeloupe, for joining me today. Also, Rolfie, hello, Mr. Duncan, and everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful day. My day isn't too bad, I will be honest with you. I had a lovely day yesterday because I was out and about in Much Wenlock, in the square, doing a live stream. Thank you once again to all those who joined me yesterday. Mika is here, watching in Japan. Hello, Sally. Sally is joining the chit-chat today. Nice to see you here. Anna Kobe is here, also Christina. Hello, Mr. Duncan, you are looking good. Thank you very much. I feel okay, to be honest. I feel rather nice. I don't know why, but whenever the weather is good, when the sun is out, when everything is looking nice, I don't know why, I always feel better. I always feel happier when the weather is nice, when the sun is out. The sun is shining in the sky and everything is really nice. So yes, I do feel rather well today. Maria. Oh, Maria. I'm saying hello to Maria. Also, Marina is here. Mirella. Lots of M's. Mirella, Maria. Also, Marina. Also, Yasmin. Hello, Yasmin. I don't understand. What do you mean you don't understand? If you don't understand, guess what? You can actually have captions on the live stream. It's true. YouTube now has live captions. So if you press this button on your computer keyboard, you can actually have live captions. So not only can you watch me live, you can also see what I'm saying live as well. Isn't it amazing? Isn't technology incredible? I must say, I think it is. Hello, Yasmin. For those who are wondering when I'm on, you can catch me every Sunday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. So that is when I am on. You can watch me on Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. And who knows, I might also have a little surprise live stream like yesterday. Ooh. Hello, Theo. Hello also to Menex or Menesk. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Welcome. Welcome to you as well. Sweetness, how are you doing, dear teacher? Your dear teacher is feeling okay today, not too bad. Also, we have Amit and Maria again. Pedro, oh. Pedro Belmont is here today, saying hello. And maybe goodbye as well. Hello also to Palmyra, Anna, Rosa. So many people are already with me on the live chat. We have a lot of things to talk about today. One of the subjects we'll be discussing is something that was brought up yesterday. So someone brought up this particular subject yesterday. So soon we will be talking all about time, how to express time in English, words connected with time. Also, I will be having a little contest as well. I will be showing some of the times on the clock. So there will be some times displayed on the clock here in the studio. And what I want you to tell me is what the time is, how to say it in English. So we are going to have a little bit of fun with that later on. Lots of words connected with time. Also, something else I want to mention. I know we live in an age of equality, fairness. Everyone has now decided to be kind and nice to each other. Well, almost. However, there are people now who are starting to disagree with certain words that contain the male gender or the word man. For example, we have manhole. Can you see that? I know it's very tiny, but I do have a very small manhole. So here is the word manhole. As you can see, the word manhole has the word man in it. It contains the word man. So manhole is an opening in the ground, normally used to hide drains or sewerage, or maybe the opening to a utility area. So something that you have to access that is underground. You normally have a manhole. So these days, people are saying, Mr. Duncan, and everyone else on planet Earth, maybe you shouldn't be saying manhole anymore. Perhaps we should have a new word instead of manhole. What do you think? Another one is mankind. So when we talk about humanity, when we talk about people, human beings, Homo sapiens, we talk about mankind. So everything that happens, everything that humans do, the evolution of humans, we often talk about the evolution of mankind, the events that have shaped humanity. We often use the word mankind. So again, another word that perhaps we could change to something else. What about people kind or person kind? Here's another one, if I can get it out of my hand. Oh, here's another one, man hours. So we have man hours. Man hours. This relates to the number of hours that a person has worked, or the amount of time it will take to do something. So when we say man hours, we are actually saying how long something will take, or how many hours it will require for something to be done. So how many man hours will it take to build that wall? How many man hours? So once again, we are using the word man in a phrase or word. So man hours. How many man hours will it take to build that wall? How many man hours will it require to do that thing? Man hours. So the amount of time taken, or the amount of time it will take to do something. Oh, here's another one. Manpower. Manpower. So we have man hours and also manpower. So manpower just relates to the number of people required to do something. Maybe you need more manpower. It means you need more people to do something. So you can see, once again, we are using the word man. But is it a good thing or a bad thing? Manpower. Manpower. You need something done. Maybe something that takes a lot of effort or work. We often say manpower. We need more manpower. We need more people to help. Then we have manhandle. Oh, hello, manhandle. A manhandle, or to manhandle something, because this is actually a verb. You are using this as a verb. So manhandle means to push someone or to shove a person. So if you are pushing a person around, if you are pushing them around, maybe you are hitting them with your elbow, or you are shaking them with your hands. To shake a person is to manhandle someone. Perhaps you are putting someone into a car by force. You are making them get into the car. We can say that you are manhandling them. To treat someone roughly, to push a person around, is manhandle. You manhandle something. Here's another one. Oh, here's an old one. If you've ever seen the film Titanic, you might hear this phrase being used. Man the lifeboats. If you man the lifeboats, it means you get in to the lifeboats. So you are telling everyone to get in to the lifeboats. The ship is starting to sink. Man the lifeboats. Man the lifeboats. It means you want people to get in to the lifeboats. You are using this as a distress call. So you use this to tell people to abandon the ship. You must man the lifeboats. To man something is to control it, to take control of something. Here's another one. Man-sized. So if something is man-sized, it means it is larger than it normally is. So if something can be described as man-sized, it is larger than normal. So maybe if you buy something that is larger than it normally is, we can describe it as man-sized. Something is oversized. It is larger than it normally is. Perhaps you buy some man-sized tissues. That means that this is larger than it normally is. So we might describe this tissue paper as man-sized if it is larger than it normally is. If it is bigger than the regular size, we can say that it is man-sized. Man-sized. Something is larger than normal. And finally, we have one more. Man-made. So something that has been created artificially, something that has not been created in nature, is man-made. It is artificial. It is not real, or maybe something that is a copy of a thing from nature. So instead of it being natural, it is man-made. Something that is created by a person. Something that does not create or is not created in nature is man-made. You might have man-made leather. So instead of killing animals, you can recreate the appearance of animal skin artificially. It is man-made. I hope you enjoyed that. Something different to start off today's live stream. Don't forget, if you like what you see, don't forget you can like and subscribe. Like, subscribe, like, subscribe. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We are talking about time. I suppose we should also mention... Shall I mention it? Okay, then I'm going to mention it right now. Yeah. Coronavirus. Yes, the situation is getting worse. However, one man appears to have a cure. Well, at least he says he does anyway. You may have heard this in the news. I'm not sure if you did, or maybe you haven't heard about this. But this particular man, his name is Jim Bakker. He is a tele-evangelist. He is an evangelist. He talks about God. He tries to convert people. He gets people to tune into his television show, and also I think he's on the internet now as well. However, Jim Bakker, there he is. That's him. He is an evangelist, and he had a product on his show a few days ago, and he was claiming that the product is a cure for coronavirus. However, he has got into trouble because it hasn't been approved by the Food and Drink Administration, the FDA in the United States. They are the group who has to approve everything before it is sold. And also, if you claim that something can do a certain thing, you have to prove it. You have to tell people. You have to give evidence that the thing you are selling can really do what you say it can do. So Jim Bakker the other day was trying to sell some special medicine, $300 by the way. The medicine is, so it's rather expensive. But apparently there is no scientific proof, or that there hasn't been no testing on this particular thing. So Jim Bakker has got into trouble for claiming to have the cure for coronavirus. But what do you think? How are you protecting yourself from the dreaded coronavirus? How are you protecting yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? I hope so. So here we are. What time is it? Oh, look at the time. It is 2:30 already. We are talking about time today, And I thought it would be a good idea to have a mystery idiom all about time. So here it is. So this is my mystery idiom, something for you to look at and maybe you can guess what the answer is. So all you have to do is tell me what you see on the screen, the mystery idiom, and it is connected with time. So there it is. Today's mystery idiom. The time mystery idiom. It is a well-known expression in English. But what is it? What is the mystery idiom? I don't know, Mr. Duncan. I hope you will tell me later on. Yes, I will give you the answer later on. Don't worry. Don't fear. The answer will be coming later on. Right now we are going to have a look at one of my full English lessons on my YouTube channel and also on my website. By the way, yes, there is a website as well. I have my own website. I will just quickly put it on the screen so you can see it. Here it is very briefly. My new website is now up and running. You can find all of my lessons on my YouTube channel and also on my new website. So there is lots to see on that website. And thank you very much for all your lovely comments about my new website. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say all the things you have been saying. Isn't that lovely? Thank you very much for that. Here we go then. Talking of my lessons, here is an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. And this is taken from one of my well-known English series. This is episode 14 of Full English. And then after that, we are going to talk all about time. Cows in a field, all being good. Cows in a field, chewing the cud. To chew the cud as an idiom means to talk about general things in a friendly way, or to consider something carefully. You are chewing the cud. Just like this cow. These cows seem very friendly, don't you think? Can you see what I have on my back? It is a very useful thing for carrying stuff around on walks in. It is a backpack. A backpack helps to keep your hands free while carrying things. You put stuff in your backpack so you don't have to carry anything in your hands. A backpack can be small and lightweight, or it can be very large and hold many things. Hikers often use backpacks so as to allow them to carry many items at once. Safety equipment, waterproof clothing, survival gear, or even a fold-away tent can be carried on your back using a backpack. The most common type of backpack looks like this. Something not too large and not too small. Very convenient for when you have lots of things to carry. You can carry a small backpack over both shoulders or just over one. Some backpacks even have wheels on them, so they can be pulled around like a trolley. A backpack can also be called a rucksack. You are not going to believe what I'm about to say, but say it I will. Most native speakers of English make mistakes while using the language. That is to say, in their day-to-day use of English. There are many reasons for this. First, there is the consideration of the accent being used. Some English accents clip or alter the way in which English is used. This applies to both British and American English speakers. The speed at which some people speak English changes the sounds of certain words. If you add accent and speed together, then you will get a very different sounding version of English. From a grammatical point of view, mistakes are often made by native speakers. Double negatives such as I didn't do nothing are common in everyday speech. The use of certain words can also lead to mistakes being made. Confusion between words such as historic and historical, affect and effect, allude and elude, assume and presume. These are just some examples of common mistakes made by native English speakers. Then there is the spelling of certain words. Native English speakers will often spell certain words incorrectly. Good examples of this include amount, fascinate, necessary, definitely, achieve, acknowledge, success, imitate, familiar, scissors, and vacuum. There are, of course, many others. My point here is that even though a person speaks and uses English as their first language, they will still be prone to making the occasional mistake. It would be fair to say that on a daily basis, very few native English speakers get it right all the time. And that includes me. It is possible to have time on your hands. To have time on your hands means that you have plenty of spare time. You are doing nothing at the moment. You have lots of time on your hands. We can ask a person, do you have time to see me? Could you spare some time for me next week? When are you free? To be free is to have spare time. The word spare can also be a verb. To spare some time is to make sure you will be free. You offer your time to someone. At a certain time, you will be free and available. Time ticks by. It never stops. Time marches on. The time and the place is when and where. To run out of time is when all things come to an end. You are out of time. Don't worry, don't fear, it's okay. We haven't run out of time yet. We still have plenty of time to do lots of things. Time, time, time. Time waits for no man. Hi everybody, I hope you are okay today. Here we are, the end of a very hectic week in many parts of the world. Wherever you are watching at the moment, can I say a big hello? I hope you are well and happy, and I hope you will have a great weekend as well, because the weekend is just around the corner. Are you doing something interesting? I hope so. We are talking all about time today. I think we should start now. Shall we start talking about time? Okay, it's time to do it. Let's talk about time, shall we? Let's talk all about the past, the present, and the future. It's time to talk about time. So when we talk about time, well, what does it mean to you? When we say time, what does it mean to you? Well, the actual meaning of time and also the origins of time are quite interesting. For example, the word time comes from Germanic and is related to the word tide. So quite often you might find that tide and time are related to each other, and certainly in the past the way the word time evolved and is connected with tide, the sea as it comes in and out. Time can be expressed as a noun and verb. We can express time as both a noun and verb. So time is the thing, but also we can time something. We can see how long something takes to happen. So time is the thing, but also we can time something. You can time it. I want to time your running. I want to see how long it takes for you to run from there to there. I am going to time you. So we can use the word time in more than one way as both a noun and verb. Ooh. As a noun, time defines the indefinite continued process of existence and events in the past, present and future regarded as a whole. So everything that happens around us, be it in the past, the present or the future, is time. As a noun, time defines the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present and future, regarded as a whole. So that means everything, as everything happens, not just here, not just on this planet, but also in the solar system, in the galaxy, in the universe. Time is everything. Also we have, this is interesting, the continued progress of existence as affecting people and things. So the continued progress, as we talk about progress, we are talking about movement, the way things move on or forward. So a person might move forward. We might also say that time moves forward. Time progresses, it moves, it is always changing. The two things are closely linked. Time, or an amount of time as reckoned by a conventional standard. And this is something we will be looking at today. So this looks very complicated. The sentence on your screen right now looks quite complex. So time, or an amount of time as reckoned. So when we say reckoned, we mean worked out. You have come to a result of something by working it out, by a conventional standard. So conventional means something that is the same everywhere. So something that matches another thing or a type of behaviour that is the same. So we talk about standard time. So the way in which we follow time, the way in which we read time is all conventional. It is all standard. However, as we will find out later, time can be very complex. The personification of time, typically as an old man with a scythe and an hourglass. We call him Father Time. Would you like to see Father Time right now? Here he is. He's not a very happy looking man, by the way. So there he is, Father Time. He doesn't look very happy. So when we see Father Time, we think of the progression of time as we go through time, as we move from one moment to the next. So maybe as the minutes come and go, maybe the days, they come and go, the years come and go. Father Time never stops moving. He is always pushing time ahead. He is always making sure that time always moves on. So there he is, Father Time. Thank you. He's gone now. He doesn't look very happy, does he? Then we can say the past, the present, the future. In English, quite often, we will have the past, the present, and the future in grammar. So quite often in grammar, we will describe something as happening in the past, happening now, or happening later. So it has happened, it is happening, it will happen. The past, the present, the future. And quite often in English, we will use those particular points of time as a reference. And we often use grammar or grammar rules to define those moments. We can use the word temporal to express the concept of time. So the whole idea of time can be described as temporal. And yes, the word can be used in other ways as well. The word temporal comes from the Latin word tempus. So you will often hear people talk about tempo or temporal when they are talking about the movement of time. Here's another one. The rhythmic beat of something can also be called tempo. So the movement or the rhythm of something boom, 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 is also tempo, which of course refers to the rate of something occurring. Quite often sound. You will hear something occurring at regular intervals or irregular. Tempo, the pace of sound, the rhythm of something. We often describe it as being the tempo. Light, space, time and gravity. Wait there. Light, space, time and gravity can all affect each other in unique ways. Yes, believe it or not. Light, space, time and gravity can all affect each other in unique ways, special ways. So even though these things seem separate, they can all come together and combine. Thank you very much for your company today. Lots of people joining in. I know this is a very complex subject, but I think also it's very interesting as well. Here we go. The speed of light. So when we are talking about time and distance, we are often talking about how fast something is moving or how quickly something gets from one place to another. And quite often we will talk about the speed of light, especially when we are looking up into space. The speed of light is the distance of an object, the amount of time or the force of gravity. So all of these things can be used separately. They come separately. However, they can be linked as well. So we have the speed of light, the distance of an object, the amount of time, and also the force of gravity. So it would seem that these things are separate. They are not connected. However, they are. These are the things that Albert Einstein used to conclude his theory of relativity. So everything is connected. Everything. You might think that they are not. However, they are. And thanks to Albert Einstein, we now have the theory of relativity, which allows us to look at many things in a new way. We can even go back in time to see what the galaxy and the universe looked like in the past. It's amazing. So I love this subject very much. It gets me very excited when I'm talking about this, as you can tell. How long does it take for the sunlight to reach the Earth? So here is a good example of light speed. For example, when the light leaves the sun, it doesn't arrive here straight away. It has to travel. It has to travel here. So how long does it take for sunlight to reach the Earth? Christina says, oh, time goes by very quickly. Sometimes it does. I think as you get older, time goes very quickly. And also if you are having a good time, if you are having fun. We often say that time flies when you are having fun. It is true. Be excellent. Make excellent says, Mr. Duncan, I like your lesson. It is interesting to learn English. I am watching, or I have been watching, for 14 years. Thanks for making your lovely English YouTube channel. How can I contact you? I want to talk to you. Well, here is the place to talk to me because I'm live right now. So this is the best place to catch me if you want to talk to me live. Luis Mendez gives us some interesting information. The speed of light is 300,000 kilometers a second. That is fast. So how long does it take the sunlight? So as the sun produces light, how long does it take to get here? It takes 8 minutes. 8 minutes. In fact, I think it's slightly more than 8 minutes. I'm sure it's 8 minutes and 20 seconds. But it is around 8 minutes it takes the sunlight, the light from the sun, to reach us. And it's quite a long way it has to come as well. We can calculate the distance of objects in space by using the speed of light as a reference. So we can measure how far away something is by working out how long it takes the light to reach us. So we often call this light years. So when you hear a person talking about light years, what they are saying is how long it takes light to reach us. And by working that out, you can tell how far away something is. And we can do it quite accurately because now we have lots of super ways of working out how fast light travels, how long it takes to get here, and by that we can also work out the distance of objects, even if they are very far away. Ooh. There are many ways of asking for the time. So maybe you are walking around the street, perhaps you are lost and you don't know what time it is. There are many ways of asking for the time. So let's have a look. You can ask, what time is it? What time is it? So, yes, a very simple way of asking for the time. I want to know what time it is. What time is it? So if you are asking this as a question, this is what you will say. This is what you will ask. What time is it? Do you have the correct time? Do you have the correct time? Do you have the time on you? So we might ask if a person is wearing a watch. So if someone is wearing a watch, they can tell you what time it is right now. So what time is it? Do you have the correct time? Do you have the time on you? What is the time? What is the time? Right now, the time is 5 minutes to 3. So at the moment it's 5 to 3, 5 minutes before 3 o'clock on a Friday. And this is English Addict, helping you to master the English language step by step. We can express time as information. So when we say that we are expressing time as information, we are normally saying what time it is, or maybe what day of the week it is, or maybe what date it is. So the date, or even the month, or even the year. So all of these things relate to information connected to time. So you are giving information. You are telling a person what time it is. You are telling them what the day is, what the date is, what the month is, and also what the year is. All of those things relate to information connected to time. And if you ask a person what time it is, they might say, it's now, it's approaching, it's coming up to, it's almost. So first of all, it's, that is the present time. It's 3 minutes to 3. It's now 3 minutes to 3 o'clock. It's approaching 3 o'clock. It's coming up to 3 o'clock. It's almost 3 o'clock. So you can see that there is a slight difference. That refers to the time now. That refers to the time right now. That refers to the time it will be soon. So it is approaching 3 o'clock. It is coming up to 3 o'clock. It isn't 3 o'clock yet. It is almost 3 o'clock. It's almost 3 o'clock, which it is right now. You might also notice when people write the date and also the month and the year, sometimes you will see it in a different order. So, for example, in the UK, we will say the day, date, month, year. And in the USA, they will often say the day, month, date, and year. So it will be the other way round. Would you like an example? Okay, then I have an example right here. For example, well, let's use today's date, shall we? Today's date is the 6th of March 2020. But in American English, people will often say March 6th, 2020. So in British English, we often put the date first and then the month. In American English, they will often put the month first and then the date. So you can see it written down here. So the 6th of the 3rd, 20, is the 6th of March 2020. The 6th of March 2020. However, in America and in many parts of the world, they will say it is the 3rd month, the 6th day of 2020. So it can be a little bit confusing, especially here. Can you see these dates look as if they are naming different times of the year? First of all, this says the 6th of the 3rd, so 6th of March. However, this looks like it is saying the 3rd of June. So it is wrong. It is wrong. So that is not British. That is saying today is the 6th of March 2020. So that is something that can catch you out sometimes. You have to be very careful when you are reading the date in that form, like that. So today's date is the 6th of March 2020. That's how you will describe it. That's how you will say what day it is. We are going to have a look at the clock in a moment. But first of all, hello everyone. Hello to the live chat. Lots of people joining me now. Thank you very much for joining me on the 6th of March 2020. And of course, it is Friday. Thank goodness it is Friday. And the weather outside is lovely. It's ever so nice. Would you like to have a look outside? Look at that. Shall we have the sound as well? Oh, yes. Oh, isn't that lovely? A beautiful day today. It really does feel as if spring is in the air. It really does. I'm feeling rather excited, to say the least. I hope you are feeling good as well. Hello to Mika. I don't want to leave here, but unfortunately it is now midnight in Japan because of the time difference. And this is one of the very confusing things about being live on YouTube. Now, I start my live streams at 2 o'clock here in the UK. But of course, the time is not the same all around the world. So each person has their own time zone. So in Asia, they are ahead. However, in South America, they are behind. They are behind us. And here it is now 3 minutes past 3 o'clock. So quite often the time zone can mean that you might miss my live stream. So it might be very early in the morning, so you are still in bed, or it might be very late at night, which means that you are also in bed because it's night time. So that is one of the problems with time zones. However, the reason why I choose 2 p.m. UK time, the reason why I choose 2 p.m. UK time is because it's kind of in the middle. So lots and lots of people will have a chance to watch me live. However, it is a big problem. It really is. Good night, Mika, and I hope to see you again. I will be back with you on Sunday. And of course, yes, Mr. Steve will be here as well on Sunday. He will be back. So now in China, apparently in China, it is now 4 minutes past 11 o'clock at night in China. So there is a very good example of the time zones. So here in the UK, it is now coming up to 5 minutes past 3. However, in China, it is coming up to 5 minutes past 11 at night. So the time zones can create a lot of confusion, even for me. Sometimes I get very confused by it, although it doesn't take very much. I have been asked to talk about how to tell the time and how to express it in English. So when we look at the clock, I have a clock here. Would you like to see my lovely clock? Here it is. Ooh. Oh, very nice. And as you can see, my clock at the moment says 12 o'clock. So at the moment, my clock says 12 o'clock. It is 12 o'clock. However, this particular time can be expressed in more than one way. For example, if it is 12 o'clock in the morning, then it is midnight. So as the day changes, we have midnight. And then after midnight, the new day will begin. So midnight, 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. Some people say 12 a.m. because as soon as 12 o'clock arrives, the time changes. So we go from p.m. to a.m. night, morning, midnight. It is midnight. So we're going to look at the ways in which we can express the hours, first of all. So how do we express the hours? Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, look at that. I have some lovely clocks on the screen that I have prepared. So first of all, we have 12 o'clock. As I just mentioned, you can call this midnight, or if it happens during the morning and afternoon, midday. So midnight, as its name suggests, is nighttime, and midday is the daytime. Quite often people will have their lunch at midday. Noon is another way of describing this time. So you can say, it is noon. It is 12 o'clock. It's lunchtime. If it's night, it is midnight. It is time to go to bed. A new day has just started. Then we have 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Again, it can be expressed as AM or PM. AM is morning. PM is night. So AM, PM, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Shall we carry on? Okay. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then of course we return to this. Midnight. We are back at midnight. Midnight is here. Or midday if it's during the day. So it is always worth remembering that there are more than one way, or there is more than one way to express this particular time. It can be midday or midnight, depending if it's during the day or at night. I know some people might find this very easy. However, there are those who want to learn how to express it in English. So they might be able to say it in their own language. However, sometimes expressing the time in English can be a little difficult. It can. Would you like to have the answer to today's mystery idiom? Here it comes. So here is the answer to the mystery idiom. The mystery idiom. So what I asked you to do was to look at this picture and tell me what the well-known phrase is. This is a well-known phrase in English, but what is the phrase? I will give you a few more seconds to guess. Does anyone know what this well-known expression in English is? I will give you a few moments and then I will give you the answer. What is this mystery idiom? Mohammed Fayez says time is precious. It is more precious than anything in the world. I think you are right, yes. Hello to Et Guide, ETE Guide. Hello, Vietnam. Oh, hello to Vietnam. I do have a lot of people watching in Vietnam. So what is the mystery idiom? You can see there is a picture and you can see lots of clocks. But you are also looking at signs as well. And here is the answer. Here is the answer right now. A sign of the times. Of course, Mr. Duncan, you naughty man. Yes, now it makes sense. So when we talk about a sign of the times, well, the meaning, an indication of how the present day is moving, normally used in a negative way to show how things are changing for the worse. Bad things that appear to be occurring more and more are seen as being a sign of the times. So quite often when things start getting bad, or maybe people start behaving in a bad way, we might say that it is a sign of the times. And quite often we will use this in a negative way. A negative way. Things are getting much worse in the world. Unfortunately, it is a sign of the times because bad things are happening. I hope you enjoyed that. That was today's mystery idiom. We don't always have one, but today I thought we would. Hello to the live chat. We are going to have a look at expressing time in a moment. In a few moments. Oh, there are quite a few phrases, by the way, that you can use with time. For example, you can say, all in good time. We will get around to doing something later. Don't worry, relax, don't worry. All in good time. It will happen. Have patience. Everything will happen. All in good time. Take it easy. Don't worry too much. Here's another one connected to clocks. Beat the clock. You try to do something in a limited period of time. So maybe you only have a few moments to do something. So you have to beat the clock. You have to do something quickly before the time comes to an end. You have to beat the clock. You have to do something within a certain period of time. Here's a good one. A ticking time bomb. If something is a ticking time bomb, it means it is a danger that hasn't been discovered yet. A danger that exists that might cause a problem, damage, injury in the future. So you might describe something that is dangerous, something that might cause injury as a ticking time bomb. A ticking time bomb. It is an idiom that means a danger or something that might cause injury in the future. Take your time. When we tell a person to take their time, take your time. There is no need to rush. Relax. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't hurry. Take your time. Take your time. There is no need to rush. Oh, I like this. Here is a great expression. Time and tide, wait for no man. Time and tide, wait for no man. This is a great phrase, a lovely proverb that means time won't wait for you. You have to make the most of it. You can't wait for time to give you the answer or to give you an opportunity because it's constantly moving. Unfortunately, you can't stop time. Time is always moving. Just like the oceans constantly move. The tide is always moving. Time and tide wait for no man. I like that one. You might have some spare time. You might have a little bit of time on your hands. So if you have spare time, it means you have free time. You have time to do something else. Or maybe you just want to sit and relax. So when you have spare time, it means you have time to yourself. You have time to relax. You have some spare time. So when we say spare, it means extra, or maybe something that is free. Free. So something you can use in a certain way. It is spare. Spare. It is available time and time again. If something is repeating itself, maybe you make the same mistake many times. If you do the same thing again and again, we can say time and time again. I keep making the same mistakes time and time again. I really do. Here's another good one. Work around the clock. If you work around the clock, it means you work for very long hours. You work for many hours without a break. Or maybe your shift, the hours that you work, is long. You have to work around the clock. Your working time is very long. You have to work for many hours. As I mentioned earlier, you might have some spare time. You might have time on your hands. So if you have some time, maybe a person wants you to help them with a project or something that they need help with. You might have some time on your hands, so you can help them. You can help them. You have time on your hands. Finally, I like this one. This is one of my favourite proverbs. This is one of my all-time favourite proverbs. There's no time like the present. There is no time like the present. Don't wait, don't hesitate, because time will not hang around. There is no time like the present. If you want to do something with your life, maybe you want to change your behaviour, or maybe you want to change your habits, there is no time like the present. Do it now. Mr. Duncan, is noon the same as midday? Yes, it is. So when we say noon, we mean midday, or some people say lunchtime as well. So some people see 12 o'clock during the day as lunchtime. A lot of people will have their lunch at midday, or as we often say here in the UK, noon. I will see you at noon. And then after 12 o'clock, it is afternoon. And that's why we say afternoon. Oh, wow, so much information today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really do. I hope you've enjoyed this a lot. Thank you very much for your company today. I will be going soon, by the way. First of all, we are going to take another look at my clock. Here it is. Do you like my clock? I'm now going to test you on how well you can actually express the time in English. So now we have a certain time on the screen, or it will be in a moment. What I want you to tell me is what time is on my clock. So I want you to write it down on the live chat as if you are expressing it in English. Here it comes, and I will give you a few moments to give me the answer as well. So here it comes. What time is on my clock? What time does it say on my clock? Can you express it in English? What time is it on my clock? So this is the first part of today's little quiz. Please tell me what the time is on my clock. You can see that the small hand is on 6 and the big hand is on 3. But what time is it? How do we express this in English? Ooh. How do we express this in English? And there is more than one way, don't forget. So there is not just one way of expressing this. You can express it in other ways as well. Time's up. I've missed that cock. I really have missed that cock. So, how do we express this particular time? We can express it as 6:15. So it is 6:15. 6:15. Or we can also say 6:15. So in that case, we are naming or numbering the number of minutes past the hour. So there you can see on the screen now, there are 15 minutes past the hour, past 6 o'clock. So it is 6:15. It is 6:15. 6:15. What about now? What time is it now on my clock? What time is it now? Ooh. What time is it on my clock? What time is it on my clock? But please write it in English. Write it down in English. So don't just give me the numbers. I want you to write it in English. Write it down. So 6. What? What is it now? There it is. I think that's more clear now. What time is it now on my clock? Time's up. Literally. 6:05. 6:05. It is 6:05. We can also say 6:05 as well. So it is 5 minutes past 6. 6:05 or 6:05. So we are putting the hour first and then the minutes. So 6:05 or 6:05. So this would be what? What would this be? What would this be? What do you think it would be? Please let me know. What is it? So we had 5 past. So how would you express this? There's the music. I wondered where the music had gone then. It disappeared. So what time is it? And then after this, I am going to give you another one, but it will be very different from this. Very different. So what is it? In this particular case, it is 10 past 6. 10 minutes past 6. Or we can say 6:10. 6:10. We can also say 10 after 6. So it's 10 after 6. It is 10 past 6. It is 6:10. So if you are saying it in English, if you want to actually say it and write it down, that is how you will express it. 10 past 6. 6:10. 10 after 6. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult now. A little bit more difficult now. What time is it? Now. Oh, Mr. Duncan, you naughty man. What time is it now? By the way, when I was at school, this is the time that the school used to close. So my school day, when I was at school, used to end at this time. But what time is it? What is the time? What is the time? What is the time on my clock? Can you please write it down in English? Write it down in English and let me know what it is. You can see that the little hand is nearly on 4 and the other hand, the big hand, is on 8. How would we express this in English? Again, there is more than one way of doing this, more than one way of expressing this time. But what time is it? It's coming up to the moment of truth. You were late then. My cock was late. So what time is it on my clock? Some very interesting answers here. Okay. So in English, we will often express this time as 20 to 4. 20 to 4. It is 20 minutes before 4 o'clock. It is 20 minutes away from 4 o'clock. So there are many ways of describing and expressing this particular time. You might also say that it is 4:40. 4:40. It is 20 to 4. Sorry, 3:40. 3:40. So it is 3:40. It is 20 minutes to 4. And the reason why we say that is because it's 40 minutes past 3 o'clock. So it is now 40 minutes past 3. So we say 3:40, 3:40, or 20 to 4. So you can see it's very confusing. Even I was getting confused then. We never say 40 past 3. We don't say 40 past 3. We never say that, ever. So we never say 40 past 3. You will never hear anyone say it when they are telling you the time. So if this is the time, it is 3:40. 20 to 4. 20 minutes away from 4 o'clock. I hope that helps you. Shall we have one more, because we are coming up towards the end of today's live stream. Time has almost run out. Can you believe it? Okay, we will have one more. Rolfie says, Rolfie makes a very good point. It seems easy to tell the time, but actually it's very difficult. I agree with you, it is. I remember when I was at school as a child, they used to have a big clock in the classroom, and every day the teacher would ask all of us, one by one, to tell the time on the clock. And sometimes the teacher would move the clock. She would change the time and then ask different people in the classroom. So yes, it is a difficult thing to do, especially when it comes to expressing it. So when you want to express what time it is, sometimes it can be very difficult. It can be hard. I think so. Here is another one. Oh, so there it is. I think this might be the last one today, because we are running out of time. So what time is on my clock at the moment? What time is on my clock? What time does it say on my clock? What time is it? The big hand is on the 9. The little hand is between 10 and 11. So it is coming towards 11 o'clock. It is approaching 11. But what time is it? How do we express this particular time in English? Can you tell me? Oh, quite a few people are getting it right. For some reason, many people know this one. I don't know why, but it seems to be very familiar to many of you watching at the moment. Okay, so what time is it? What time is on my clock? We have more than one way of describing this. We can say that it is 11:15. 11:15. So on my clock it says 11:15. We can also say it is 15 minutes before 11. We can also say that it is 10:45. 10:45. Because 45 minutes has passed since 10 o'clock. So we say 10:45. 10:45, 11:15, 15 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Or 15 before 11. 1:45, a quarter to. So a quarter. So you can see we are dividing the clock up into sections. So you have 5 past, 10 past, quarter past, 20 past, 25 past, half past, 25 to, 22, quarter to, 10 to, 5 to, and then of course we are back to the top of the hour. So there are some interesting ways of describing the time. In fact, when you think about it, there are many, many ways of describing the time. But what about now? What time is it now? Now the time is 3:33. All of the threes. So right now it is 3:33. 33 minutes past 3 o'clock here in the UK, which means that it's 27 minutes away from 4 o'clock here in the UK. I don't know what time it is where you are because I'm not there. Sadly, it is almost time for me to say goodbye. Can we call it 15 to 11? You might say 15 before 11. It is 15 before 11 or 15 to 11. So yes, you can, but quite often we will say quarter to, because it is 15 minutes, which is a quarter of an hour. Very interesting test. Thank you, Christina. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it seems like a very simple thing, but as I've discovered in life, quite often, the simplest things can be the most complex or complicated to explain. Trust me, it's true. Thank you very much for your company today. Thank you to everyone. So many lovely people here today. Thanks for joining me. I will be back with you on Sunday. I am back on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time, with more of this. And don't forget, you can catch me Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. Unfortunately, we are now out of time. Time has beaten us. Unfortunately, I have run out of time. My time is up. Time's up, Mr. Duncan. It is time for you to go. Can you say half to? No, you can't. You can never say half to. You can always say half past. So you never say half to. you always say half past. So, for example, this time is always half past 10, half past 10. So, halfway is always expressed as half past, half past. You might also say 30 minutes past. So here you can see 30 minutes have passed. 30 minutes past. But quite often we will say half past. It is half past 10. Half past 10. Or 10:30. I hope you've enjoyed today's class. It has been a very long one, and to be honest with you, I have given you a lot of information today. Tons of information. Thank you, Rolfie. Congratulations, Mr. Duncan. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much, Mr. Duncan. It was great. Mind yourself and see you on Sunday. Well, tomorrow I am out and about with Mr. Steve. We are going to a couple of places tomorrow. We are going to a place called Leamington Spa because Mr. Steve will be having some singing practice. And then we are going to see my mummy because my mother, for those who have been watching, my mother is not very well at the moment. However, she is slowly on the road to recovery, I am thankful to say. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good weekend. Stay happy. Stay safe. Don't forget to wash your hands and stay clean. Stay away from that horrible coronavirus. And I will see you on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. This is Mr. Duncan, that's me by the way, in the birthplace of English, saying thanks for watching me today. Thanks for joining me. Have a super day. Have a great weekend. And I will see you very soon. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, ta-ta for now.